up for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
Bad whistling, bad whistling.
That was some bad whistling, man. What was going on there? I don't know what that was. Yeah. What's happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Indie Invasion Shorts. Hey, there's Mr. Ron. How are you doing, sir?
Man, Ron, you're on it. He is on it. I didn't even do a reminder for anybody.
No.
He was on it.
Welcome to the show, friends and neighbors. We got a couple cool things we're going to talk about tonight. But first off, hey, Adam, what's happening, sir? Welcome aboard. Fastest 30-ish minutes in wargaming, 30-ish. Oh, man, Bob's here, too. We got all we need now is for Todd R to show up.
Yeah.
So, welcome. We've been working on stuff. Eric's been working on some non-mini stuff there, all that stuff behind him.
Part of that was just because I have it over here on this side. I just didn't want to move the computer back downstairs.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's good stuff. So you see, we have a little extra screen up there today. That's a little bit about what we'll be talking about, but that's also what I've been working on this week. So I've been working
more bases.
Yeah, more bases, but I also was piddling around with a little bit of painting. I started working on. Hey, look, it's Jordan from County Road.
What's up,
Z,
Jordan?
Earthbound Games. We're the official Earthbound Games. So we're I've been working on some basing stuff, but I also started working on my Twilight models again because they're real fun to paint. I was working on a little bit of Quar stuff, and Alder's not here yet. I'm sure he'll show up, but I finished. Well, okay. I thought I finished my Burrows and Badgers, and then I was digging through my Twilight stuff and getting ready to start painting some of my Dogu, which are the great northern Fubarni in the world of Twilight, and discovered a shrew shaman tucked away in with the Twilight stuff. So I got a little. I'm almost done with him. But that'll be the last one. They're based. They're ready to go. As long as I can lick this cold that I've got here, we're starting our campaign tomorrow. What did Bob say there? A partial dirigible behind Mac. Yes, there is. That is my blimp from Crossway Miniatures. It's not quite like what you think. So that would be the blimp part of it, but you actually play inside of it. So it's really cool. It's
just the way you're sitting and where it's placed. You kind of look like that, or you could be like Krusty the Clown. It's your hair.
Now I'm going to have to repaint it purple or something.
Yeah.
So it'll match. So yeah. Yes, it is a bigature. It is. It's very huge. It was a limited run on Crossway Miniatures. He does. If you guys go back and look through any of the pictures on Indie Invasion, all of my steampunk Victorian airships, Crossway Miniatures does all of them. And then he's done a run on this thing twice. And I got in it on the second time. And he's got a couple of other things in the works, a couple of sections. One section where you can drop a biplane out of it. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Todd says he's been working on his British Force for a War Transformed. So Todd, I joined the group today because I want to look at that. Even though it is the occult side of it, it's like a weird war. I still want to check it out a little bit. I think my World War I itch is going to be officially scratched with my favorite anteaters in the whole world, the Quar. As I've been working on them some more. So Tonio's with us too. Hello, sir. And actually, I have Eric. How far are you from Great Lakes Naval Station? Like 15 minutes?
15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
So my son is 15 minutes away from you right now. Fernando is 15 minutes away from you.
Yeah, he's probably busy right now marching in a line. So
no, right now he's probably sleeping. It's 8:30 there, right? Yeah, he's probably sleeping.
Yeah, that's true.
If they do their boot camp anyway, like they did my boot camp, he's asleep already and he'll be getting up soon. So good morning, Aller. Welcome, sir. Welcome aboard. You'll have to go back and listen to what I said. I was done. I'll just tell you again. I was done with my burrows and badgers, and I found one hiding in my twilight guys. So I have a shrew shaman to finish, and then I will actually be done. Maybe.
You probably got more coming, don't
you? I do. I have some more coming from Mike Lovejoy, who runs Burrows and Badgers, Oathsworn Miniatures, and then I have a few coming from a store here in the States. So the funny thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike's stuff got here before the stateside stuff did, because that's just how it rolls when he ships stuff. So he just bought Snarl from Vince V and Uncle Adam, maybe painting up a tank for tanks for the apocalypse. Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Very cool. Are we backing the new Twilight Kickstarter? It's funny that you should ask.
And what a segue.
That was for that segue. D or Anthony, whichever one you go by. Tonio said that when I finished my first 20, then I bought as many. I know, they're great models. Actually, we are talking about the Twilight Kickstarter tonight because I love Twilight. We love Twilight. We did, as a matter of fact, I think it was either the first or second interview that we ever did for Indie Invasion.
I think it was the second.
I think it was too. I think we talked to Chris Pond
from War Cradle
first, but then we talked to Mike Thorpe about Twilight, and we had a great conversation. You can go back in our videos and you can find that. Yeah, that is a statement right there. Yep. It is a great game. It is so unique. I think there's a few games that we have discovered over the years of doing this that I think really fill that unique game niche. And that's like Quar, it's Twilight, it's Burrows and Badgers. It's just and the sculptors are the game makers. It's all just kind of in-house, and it's a Kickstarter you can get behind. So if you're on the fence about the Kickstarter as we talk about it, go ahead and back it, because Mike delivers usually ahead of schedule when he does his Kickstarters. So, and it's only supposed to deliver in April of next year. So that's just around the corner.
Not December of next year.
Right. Not December of next year and then delayed for another year, as is typical for Kickstarter. Yeah. But anyway, so I have a picture of some stuff that I finished up. I got my Fubarni up there and my Devanu, just a few of them. I've got some other factions. I've got the Trey Barney and some Dogu.
And look at those bases. Look at those bases.
I know, right? What's going on? Alder's over there. He's just happy as can be, right? But yeah, so I thought I'd throw those up there because that is exactly what. Let me show you.
Yeah, the Kickstarter's going for what, like a week and a half?
I think it's got 6. I think it's got 6 days left.
6 days, okay, man.
Yeah, it was only a 12-day Kickstarter.
I better hurry up and decide myself.
Yeah, let's see. Yep, it's got 6 days left. Okay. So as usual, so here's a shot of the Kickstarter. It is the Rivers of Anural.
That's so cool. That looks so cool.
Yeah, the boat is super cool, and let's just scroll through this Kickstarter real quick and look at it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the game. But so there's going to be a whole new faction. You can see what did you say it was on his page, Eric? It said 446%.
Yeah, funded already. So he's that much over the 100%. Yeah.
So you have, your regular stuff where you can just support it over here on the right, where you got the spectator, and then the river urchin in his little boat. That thing's cool.
That's cool.
One of the cool things about Twilight is all of the optional civilian models that don't really serve a purpose, but they tell the story.
Yeah, they're just like decoration almost.
Yeah. So then here we're gonna have the book and reference cards, the Traveler for about $20 US.
And that's really good card stock. It's like a card stock too, so
Yeah.
it's something pretty nice.
Yeah. So really, the truth is, you just want to go with the Captain Pledge, get everything. You get the new rules for playing on the rivers and the riverboat. You get the riverboat, and let's take a look. There's
I think the riverboat comes with 3 barges too.
Yep, it has 3 barges behind it. Let's see. So there's some good shots of it. There's some teddy bear photographs there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that mat looks awful familiar.
Yeah, I know that one's not mine though. I promise. So in one of his updates, this critter right here is getting sculpted. It's going to be. I think he said it's going to be available for an add-on. So let's scroll down a little bit farther here. There's the boat. Comes with 3 of these little barges that come on the end of it. And then here's where it gets cool. Let me find there we go. Here's the pledge levels. So there's the Erkin, the Traveler book with the cards, and then there's the faction right there. So if you wanted to just get the river faction, that'll be your start right there. That's the Guardians of the River. And then of course the captain would come with the boat. And then add-ons as is pretty normal in any Kickstarter. You can add on stuff from the regular store.
Yeah. And they had some neat little the one thing I always liked about Mike's game was all the creatures, all the little animals that they're kind of like your wild card in the game. You can attach them to whatever force you build, but they're kind of they're the monkey in the wrench in everything because you don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're fun to paint and have on the board. I did the last one. I can't remember what the name of the Kickstarter was where he had all the civilians. It might have been called Civilians, or
it might have been. I think so.
I can't remember. Got a lot of little carts and stuff.
He centered a lot on basically your market type of world. You go into the city or the town and you see the market square.
Yeah. So here's a good point that I don't. Whatever your first name is that starts with D, I don't know, so I'm going to call you Anthony. Type something in there and correct me with what you want to be called otherwise. But yeah, it's tough to decide how deep to go when it's hard to find anybody to play with. My recommendation is, if you have a game store, is get 2 factions, paint them up, because you don't need very many models to play this game at all. Not to get started. You really don't. Anthony's fine. Okay, cool. I didn't want to be calling you something you didn't want to. What is the name? Twilight Isn't Pulling. The name of it is Twilight: The Chronicles of Anural.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll get glittering vampires.
Yes, we're not talking about a glittery vampire. So the Kickstarter name is Anural, Anyaral. And it's The Rivers of Anural by World of Twilight.
Try and do something.
Anthony says he already has a boatload of them. Well, there you go. I don't know if you have a store or not, and I like what you did there with the boatload. That was well played, sir. Well played indeed.
I'm gonna throw a link up in the chat for you guys.
Yes. And then also the website itself. So I'll throw that up there too. Here, let me get that website up.
Oh,
there.
You get that open, right? Yeah,
I do. I'm gonna throw that up.
Yeah, and they're the company, Mike's company it's in UK, but it's reasonably priced for shipping and fast too. I think I've gotten stuff just like with Sworn when we got burrows and badges. What, like a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was
surprises me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so how much time will the game see the table tells me how much to spend. That's what Terrence said. Yeah, that's true. I am fortunate that I have, if Eric didn't live so far away, I'd have more than one buddy that does this. And now that Alan's here too, if I had another buddy that lived closer, it would see more table time too. But I have my buddy that plays with me here, Seth. He'll play anything, right? We've been playing Twisted for the past 4 or 5 weeks. We've got 4 or 5
a couple weeks now.
Yeah, and when we finished up our game last Friday or Saturday, whenever we played, we were like, you want to do something else? Start a Burrows and Badgers campaign. So that's what got me getting my Burrows and Badgers stuff finished, is we're going to start a campaign speaking of which, we're supposed to start tomorrow, and none of my dudes have names.
Oh man, you better
right. You got to come up.
You better get a name generator or something.
I know. I got to come up with something.
I see Ron put this up. Looks cool, but it's close to Christmas for me, and that's actually what me and Mac were talking about. Yep. But the nice thing with Mike is you see all this new stuff and add-ons and all that. Nothing's exclusive, so you can go to his website and get it. Once it's actually done and delivered to all the Kickstarters, it'll be up on his website to buy.
Yeah, definitely.
And the nice thing I like about this game, and this is how I got started, is I just looked through a lot of the different factions and I saw maybe a model or a couple models that look cool.
Yeah,
I started with that just because they look fun to paint, and a lot of them were the creatures and stuff like that. But before I knew it, all of a sudden I had factions that I could actually play with. So
yeah, and I did the same thing. So like what I have on the table here with the Fubarni and the Devanu, I love both of those factions, but my favorite is the Dogu. But I didn't really know anything about them until I had ordered these miniatures, got a little bit more into the fluff of the game, and then kind of fell in love with that faction. Yeah, so see, there you go. Now you've got even a third affirmation from Anthony about
the Kadeshi. Yeah, that's kind of when I jumped in, when they had the Kadeshi.
Kickstarter as well. I've got a bunch of Kadeshi stuff as well. It's a great game. It plays differently. It's very unique.
I think it's very unique with the bag drawing, and you're drawing those tokens out, and you don't know when the round is going to stop.
Yeah.
So there's this really fine push your luck balance type of thing going on.
Yeah. And Ron makes a good point, right? This is forever the battle that we face, is having way too many games that you can't get them to the table, right? And then that's immediately responded. That's followed by Alan saying he's got them all.
That's the price you pay for having a game store, man.
That's the price you pay for having a game store. It is. It's a super fun game. I would encourage you to check it out. Even if you just throw a buck at it. I mean, he's already well funded. There's a really good loyal following for Mike's stuff. We do what we can here in the States for him, talking about the game, because it is a really cool game. And the miniatures, this is what we said when we talked about when we first got our Burrows and Badgers models, is the uniqueness of them is what makes them fun to paint.
Yeah. Because you're not so concerned about being techniques and, being precise. It's just having fun.
Yeah, because they are so very unique that it's just so much stuff is similar, and that's not a bad thing in the games that we play, right? But you do your, I think Mini Wargaming is doing their Kickstarter for their game, Ravage Star, I think is what it is, and the models are gorgeous looking. They're made out of this great PVC plastic, so it's durable, but the aesthetic is very 40K-ish. Right. That's not I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying there's like there's a lot of consistency across games. You know what I mean? For war games, because of what they are. And this is just way different. Okay. So Terrence says, yes, it's a bag draw mechanic, but it's a very unique bag draw mechanic. So in a nutshell, let's say I have 3 units and Eric has 3 units. I'll put 3 blue stones in. Eric puts 3 white stones in, and then there's 2 combat stones that go in there. So you only move when your color stone comes out, and you only actually fight when the combat stone comes out. Once both combat stones come out, the turn is over, no matter when they came out, whether you've moved everybody or not.
Yeah, so, I like that balance. That's really it creates a tension almost in the game too.
Yeah, because you can sort of like give orders. So you can essentially, if your first token pulls, you can move all of your dudes by giving commands through your chain of command of your dudes.
That's right.
Yeah. So you can essentially move everybody. Okay, Ron said the Mini Wargaming one finished yesterday. Okay, cool.
Okay.
And yes, Anthony, with with Twilight, you do not have to paint dozens of skulls and all the filigree. That is
a big part of it is it feels like you're painting like dark crystal type
I know
guys, they're very reptilian looking, but kind of has that fantasy flavor with their clothing and weaponry and stuff.
There you go.
Very different.
That one's for you, Eric. Listen, you just been invited to play a game. How can you say?
I think I have 2 starters, but man, this is one of those games, the minis. I've been slowly picking away at them, just like Burrows and Badgers, slowly picking away at them.
You just glue them together and play. They don't have to be painted for the first time.
True.
That way you can hook Terrence in, and he's there. Oh, that's right. Tonio has played more recently, so he's got a correction here for me. It's not a token by unit, but a fixed number of tokens. And you can activate single models. It forces you into that command mechanic, which is really cool. It's just a fun game. I encourage you to explore it. I believe he has a PDF of the rules. I don't know if it's a free PDF or not, but so that if you don't want to wait to read the rules, Jordan says bag mechanic sounds pretty cool. Have to take another look. You should. It's a great game, and it's a wonderful independent developer. So when you get your stuff, his inspector is his daughter. So you'll get the inspection card sometimes with that his daughter has inspected the miniatures pack. So it's pretty cool. It's a little, family operation, just like Mike and Joe Lovejoy at Burrows and Badgers. Same, just a little family operation.
Yeah. This is a passion project he's been working on for what, like 20 years or something?
Maybe longer than that.
Yeah, maybe longer, because he's an artist. So a lot of these miniatures come from just sketches and drawings that he's done out of ideas he has. I mean, I think in October, doesn't he do a drawing every day?
Yeah. He does a Twilight drawing every day. It's 99% of the time it's Twilight. Sometimes he'll throw something else up in there in the Facebook group. You can go over and join that. But it's like I think the thing I like about this game is the same thing that I like about Zombie Smith and Quar. So if you buy This Quar's War book from Zombie Smith Miniatures, in the very back where Josh has written some stuff about the game and the development and everything, he has 2 pictures. He's got one on this side that's this really gritty World War I, really excellent artwork kind of thing of 2 Quar standing there. And then on the other page, he's got this picture that he drew when he was like 10 in crayons of Quar fighting. So, like, talk about a super lifelong project, right? I mean, that they have just been that's been his thing. So, and something we'll be talking about very soon is that they are moving to plastics from War Games Atlantic for their models. So, not sure I'm going to be able to resist buying any more of the metal Quar and waiting, but I'm going to try and wait for the plastics. But we'll see what happens. My birthday's coming up. Christmas is coming up. If I get a little bit of money, it's going towards miniatures. It's going to have to. I just feel like it would be necessary. It would be dishonoring to the person that gifted it to me to not spend it on miniatures. I'd feel terrible.
Now, do you know, I don't know if Alan's still here. Alan, do you have any of this stuff we're talking about? Because I know he did carry a lot of that Twilight stuff at one point.
I don't know if he ever carried, he has a bunch. He has a whole bunch, but I don't know that he actually ever carried it. Birthday money always goes to miniatures. That's right. That's what it is for. I'm not sure if he's ever carried it. I don't recall ever seeing it in the store, but I know that he's had a bunch of it. Anthony's right. It's hard to find people to play because it is such a niche game.
It's very niche, but I think it's easy enough. It's easy enough to jump in. Oh, he does. Okay. He's got some Twilight. Because I remember him doing an unboxing of a bunch of stuff for the game. But yeah, I think it's one of those games that even if you just play it with your family, it's easy enough to, jump into, but it's deep enough that you have a lot of strategy to explore when it comes to either building your war bands or just playing the game. You know, like you said, that whole chain of command stuff, you got to figure out, you know, the strategy of, okay, if I activate this guy, I can, you know, chain activate 3 other guys, and
Right.
you know, that way you don't risk that chance of drawing that one, you know, stone, and okay, turn's done. Re-rack them.
Okay, so Alan says, Discover Games, Fayetteville, Georgia. If you want some Twilight stuff, shoot him an email. He'll tell you what he's got if you want to order some.
Yeah.
Now, this is a good point, and we've actually talked about this before, Todd, that the niche games do better in the UK because of the game clubs where they play. And it's the proximity, too, because we'll do a perfect example here. Like, I don't know where Anthony lives, but I'm going to guess he doesn't live close enough to Eric or myself to get in a game. Or maybe, well, maybe he lives close to Alan. I don't know. Maybe he's in Georgia. But that's the point. I mean, our country's so gigantic, is we're spread out all over the place. Just look at, I mean, we don't have a huge following, but we have a handful of people. Oh, see, he's all the way in Seattle. he's way over there. He's almost as far away as Alder, and Alder's in Australia. Okay, we're not quite that far, but yeah. So that's the thing. You know, we're just so spread out. You just look at the people that listen to us. You know, we've got Tonio way up in Canada, Alder's in Australia, Alan's in Georgia, you're in Illinois, Anthony's in Seattle. You know, it's all over the place. Whereas, just like Todd said, in the UK, everything is a whole lot closer. And those, like, I don't know if anybody in this group has ever tried this, but going into a restaurant to have your game club be, they're not as receptive to that as they are in the UK. I see pictures from my friends in the UK all the time, and they're playing at a restaurant, right? Or they're playing at a pub or something.
A pub, yeah.
Look, Tonio, he knows of one other Canadian player. It's a quick 10-hour drive to get a game.
I know. I remember hearing Spaz talk about that too. It's like, you know, he's in the same province of one of our other friends, but it takes them, you know, about an hour if they want to meet up somewhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's definitely worth checking it out, though. Let's see. What did he say there? He says he'll bring it to Adepticon, maybe. Well, Eric, love to play Eric again. Drinks.
That's right. I played Anthony in Wild West Exodus. That's how we met.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'm pretty sure if I only have to hit a 4-hour drive, Tonio, if I want to play somebody in Twilight, I only have to go to Atlanta to discover. So.
Yeah, and Alan probably has enough of his own stuff, right? You don't need to bring anything.
Yeah, but if I want to play Eric, I got to drive 18 hours. So.
18 hours. Well, now you got an excuse right now, at least till what? Spring? I don't know. How long is Nando over there?
He'll be graduating in January, so we'll be coming up to see you sometime in January.
Oh yeah. You won't be wearing your slaps then.
You don't know.
All right.
You don't know. I won't be for his graduation, but you know, he's the one that chose to go up there. I told him when he chose boot camp, I said, look, man, it doesn't matter where you go. You're either going where it's humid, you're going where it's hot, or you're going where it's freezing. Only is Twilight the only new game? Sort of. We touched briefly on the new stuff coming out with Quar, with the new plastics, but Eric had a couple of things too that he wanted to throw out there before we wrap up.
Let me find my little thingamabobber.
One of them we were discussing as he's looking is what I think is primarily the difference between a guy like Mike using Kickstarter and the Kickstarter he's about to share with you. I think there's a significant difference, and I much prefer when guys like Mike, you know, the small companies, use Kickstarter. I know. Alan has been playing War of Oz. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Alan, but I believe that is basically the Wizard of Oz and all of
that looks pretty cool. Yeah,
war game in it. So there you go. There's one of the other new ones. DC.
Here's one of the other new ones, and I clicked on the thing to save this and remind me because Zombicide and all that. But this is basically the deceased DC Comics version of Zombicide, very similar to the Marvel Zombies that was a year ago, which we were talking. I'm still waiting for my stuff so I can play this. But if you want Batman, Superman, basically this is their version of zombies. They're just calling them unliving. I don't know. They're trying to be different, I guess.
Because that's what zombies are.
Yeah, and I mean, I looked at this and I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks almost exactly like Marvel Zombies with the way the mechanics are. But like I said, if you want these kind of minis, DC minis to use for Marvel, Crisis Protocol, you could use them as proxies type of thing. But yeah, I saw this one right here and I was like, ooh, look at the zombie Aquaman.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it might come down to one of those I'll wait till it comes out and get instead of waiting a year. I mean, the painted minis look pretty cool.
Yeah. I think I just my 2 cents, you can disagree with me, that's fine, but I just think that Kickstarter is a platform for guys like Mike Thorpe, right? I think it's a platform more for that. You're going to wait forever for these. Mike's going to do something small. He's going to produce. He's going to ship in April, right? You're going to have your stuff in hand and get it started painting. So there's definitely a lot of new stuff out there. And probably the hardest part about any of it is it's just like Ron said, and Terrence and Anthony and Antonio, everybody says the same thing. It comes down to what you're going to be able to get to the table, right?
Yeah. And we mentioned this one, 2 weeks ago? Another one, I haven't decided if I want to jump in. I could probably go find the originals for this one, for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG. Yeah. It's not totally a straight reprint because they did clean up some of the rules. They've added some new artwork to it, I guess, and they kind of compiled some of the expansions into one book. So they kind of condensed stuff instead of having like 20 source books and stuff like that. And of course, there's a ton of different levels you can go. You can go basic, $50.
Man, all they did was color that picture.
Yeah,
okay? That's all they did. Look at that. See, I could not agree with Jordan more. A popular game company with a popular license should probably be able to self-fund a game.
Oh yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem people have with Cool Mini or not. Yeah. And with some of the unlocks that they do, it's like they're tapping into that FOMO a little bit. And I'll admit it. I've been guilty of that, of being like, oh, I need that. Yeah. I need that figure that I am not going to be able to get unless I go on eBay later, So
I don't think Anthony likes Cool Mini or not.
But here's some of the other covers that they did. They did like all black, white, and red, very reminiscent of the original. I think they're doing a like fluorescent green mutagen type covers. And so, I mean, if you're into this property and you don't have the original, I would say, go basic at least, you know, and pick it up. You're not really losing out. Yeah, you're still waiting, forever. What they're saying September of next year is the estimated, but
I got mine over on the shelf, man.
You can still get the original, and we wanted to mention the Deceased to check it out. That one just started like 2 days ago, so that's got like 2 weeks still. It's a little bit shorter than their normal thing.
There it is, and Jordan hits the nail right on the head. Cool Mini is the worst offender on Kickstarter. Too bad the minis are so cool. That's it, because that's how they get you, right? I have more zombies than I could ever use in a Cool Mini or not, or I mean a County Road Z game, right? I could fill up my 6-foot table with nothing but zombies. I don't need any more zombies. I don't.
I just noticed Terrence said this, Cowabunga. That's right, Terrence. Tapping into that nostalgia is what they're doing.
That's right. All right, well, I think that just about wraps it up. Mostly we wanted to talk about the Twilight Kickstarter, but there is some other new stuff out there. kind of poking around, and new stuff coming out for some older games. Like I said, I'm really excited about the plastics for War Games Atlantic for the Quar. I think running the plastics like that, there's the potential to really expand the line as far as a little bit of diversity in some of the other stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. Plus, I like, as you guys know, we like supporting the small guys, even if we don't usually get the game to the table. But I am getting Burrows and Badgers to the table, and we are starting our campaign.
Cool.
I'm excited, and the models that I have coming are not in my list yet. So I have a Beaver Mercenary is my. I don't have a massive model in my warband yet, so I got a Beaver Mercenary on the way. So I'm saving up to purchase him for my game, for my warband. So all right, sir, it's your turn to take us out.
My turn. Okay. So yeah, like Max said, these are just some of the games we wanted to bring to light so you guys can check them out. It's kind of, whatever your flavor is. But hey guys, just make sure you guys go and follow, like, subscribe, smash all those buttons. Show us that you're and join us every Thursday when we do either one of these or shorts where we talk about something in the gaming world, or sometimes we get together and we just work on projects, do a paint on the desk. And find all our past audio podcasts on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, Spotify, and all those other places you can listen to podcasts. And make sure you check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and drop us a line at indieinvasion@gmail.com. And make sure you head over to the Discord and join our community where you can post some projects that you're working on, ask questions, show us your workspace. That's been a popular one lately.
Yep.
And you can support us over at redbubble.com/people/indieinvasion. Get some merch if you want a hat, some mugs. I don't know what I did with my mug tonight. Some t-shirts, all kinds of stuff on there. And yeah, every little bit helps keep the lights on for us, right? Since you were messing with lights earlier.
I was messing with lights earlier. That's true.
But that's all we got for you guys tonight. Until next time, prepare yourself for the invasion. We'll talk to you later.